G'day guys, how you doing? It's the Kiwi here with another video about being a man and going your own way. Or just trying to become the best possible version of yourself out there. But anyway, first and foremost, I want to wish you all a happy new year. Seriously. Yeah, can't believe it's the end of another year. Blows me away. But more than anything, I really want to thank you, the viewer, and the subscribers to this channel for you're the reason why the channel's here. In all honesty, seriously, I honestly never thought I would get to a few hundred subscribers, let alone heading towards 6,000 subscribers now. I mean, that just honestly, it just blows me away, and it humbles me. It really, really does. It blows me away that there is so many men out there that actually have subscribed to this channel, that listen to what I have to say. I take it very, very, very seriously. I really, really do. It blows me away. It truly does. So, you know, you're the reasons why I constantly come up with a new subject or a new topic. I know I'm not a prolific producer. Okay, I don't put a lot of content out there, and there's a reason behind that, believe it or not. And it comes down to how we as human beings absorb information, and how we literally absorb it, how we metabolize information. What I've learned in my lifetime is that if you constantly are pounding information into people, they don't have an opportunity to absorb or metabolize the information that they've already been given. And it's actually the reason why the education system in the United States is failing so dismally, is because of the fact that they're constantly pounding information into these kids, and they don't have an opportunity to remember, you know, hardly any of it. So where I grew up, our education system in New Zealand was very, very, really pretty chilled, pretty relaxed education system. And what I've actually noticed is here in the US, certain graduate programs, those the people in those graduate programs will actually go to New Zealand and study. Will spend 3 months in New Zealand and actually study how we educate in our country, because our country is one of the highest educated countries in the world. And yeah, it's really pretty interesting. We don't pound information into people's heads because it takes a while for information to actually absorb into the body, to process, and to be remembered. So that's why I only put a few videos up, because a few videos a month up, because I'm giving you, the viewer, the opportunity to actually absorb that information, to actually take into consideration what I've said, what I've explained. And you'll notice when you go out there into the real world, you'll be picking up cues of that information that I've given you, you know. And what I find is these people that are constantly pounding information out, they're actually not giving you the opportunity to actually absorb that information and actually take it in. And this has been proven at, you know, like I said, where I'm from in New Zealand, one of the highest educated countries in the world, the United States, going down the toilet. So that's the reason why I'm not a huge content producer. However, as I said, huge amount of thanks and gratitude and appreciation to you, the viewers. And I really, truly do wish you all not just a happy 2018. I wish you a happy and productive life. I wish you a life where, you know, you are literally doing what it is that makes you the happiest, what brings you the most amount of joy, pleasure, you know, passion in life. And you know, that's more important than anything else in this world. And I'm going to share a little story with you that happened to me as a child, because from this point forth I'm going to give you a little saying that was given to me, and it stuck with me for my entire life, from about 17, 18 years of age to even today, 50. And that is, we never rise to the level of our expectations. We always fall to the level of our training. And I had that salvo fired over my head when I was at the Wellington Polytechnic, when I was going through my auto body repair training, or, you know, as we call auto body repairers in New Zealand, panel beaters. But anyway, I went every year. You would have to spend 3 to 4 weeks at the Polytechnic to go through specific training, to learn specific things. And the old tutor there, God bless this man, this guy's name was Harry Bodie. He was an old Dutchman. I still remember the guy to this day. He was an amazing man. And because I grew up in a family that we had a family business, you know, an auto body repair facility that my grandfather started. And what happened was, because I was raised in this environment, I pretty much thought I had my bases covered. So I just, at that first Polytech course, I was just, yeah, I got this. I'm good. Yeah, all you guys are morons. I know it all. Well, what happened was, at the last day of the class, or actually I think it was a few days before the end of that period of time at the Polytech, but it was like 2 or 3 days. And what happened was, the tutor, Harry Bodie, he actually read out our exam results, our testing results, you know, our welding, everything that we did during that period of time. They read out what they felt every student in the class, and how well they were doing. And I tanked. Harry Bodie ripped me. Harry Bodie ripped me a new arsehole. And I had 30 odd dudes in this class just looking at me, just laughing their asses off and everything like that. And the next couple of days was just miserable. They were just beating on me and just humiliating me and embarrassing me and everything. And I vowed and declared at that moment that I would never let that happen to me again. And that's literally because Harry Bodie said, he goes, "Mr. Bryant, we never rise to our expectations. We always fall to the level of our training." And he goes, "Right now, you haven't fallen. You have failed. You are useless. You will never become any good at anything. You're a waste of my time. You're a waste of everybody's time." I mean, he let me have it. So literally the next year, I absolutely aced my classes. I aced all my exams. I went on to become the most highly qualified auto body repairer in New Zealand that hadn't gotten out of his apprenticeship. I was one of three guys in New Zealand that had passed their business and management exams, their advanced trade certificate exams, all that sort of stuff before I'd gotten out of my apprenticeship. And there was an award that you could get for doing that. I got that award. I was just never going to let anybody talk to me in that way, shape or form ever again. And actually, when I came back from my first trip to the United States, I went and visited Harry at the Wellington Polytechnic, and I thanked him. I thanked him for, you know, what he had done for me, and the fact that he had ripped me a new arsehole the way he did. And this is the reason why, in all honesty, this is the reason why so many people are failing today. This is the reason why so many people just fail in life, and more so younger guys, because in today's society, where everybody got a trophy, or everybody gets an award, or everybody passes something, you know, you're being sent out into the modern world with these expectations, these belief systems, this understanding that you can do it all. And the reality is, you don't have the training. You haven't had any experience in anything to actually carry you forward in life? Or if you do fall, have you got a base that you can fall back onto? What sort of training can you fall back onto? What sort of knowledge base, what sort of experience, what sort of anything have you got outside of a degree that you can fall back onto? Because you've always got to have a base. You've always got to have a place that you can call home. Okay? It's like in the game of Monopoly. You know, miss such and such, straight back to go. Okay? That's literally what it is. You've got to have something that you can fall back onto. And that's where you build your training from. That's where you start to become the best that you can possibly become at something, when you have that base to start from. Okay? And my base was my auto body repair training. Okay? That was the one thing that I could always utilize as a go-to. And it actually, the training that I learned there carried me over into other areas of my life, all the way up to become, when I got to becoming an IndyCar mechanic. And I was actually even looking at going into Formula One, but I actually, that's a whole nother story for another time. But I've also experienced having expectations fail me. I thought because I was so good at what I could do over here that I could actually start a business and run a business and manage a business. I had these expectations of what I could do in a business because I was so good at what I could do over here. But because I didn't have the training in business, finances, understanding any of that stuff, I was constantly coming up short, and it was always a struggle. And because it was such a struggle continually, I just finally threw my arms up in disgust, and I was like, I'm done. After 15 years of beating my head up against a brick wall, I was just done. And I realized once I finally backed out of that, I was able to go, okay, this is the reason why I sucked over here, because I didn't have that training. I didn't have that knowledge. I didn't have the knowledge, the base that I could go to build from. Okay? So in today's modern world, we have so many young people going out into this world with these massive expectations. I mean, huge expectations, because of how they've been educated, what they've been told, the medals and the awards and all this different stuff. And they always are failing. They're always coming up short. They are always finally, in the end, just giving up. There's so many young guys out there that are just, I'm done. And they're young. They're in their 20s. And it's because their expectations were so inflated, so huge, that the first punch in the guts that they get, they fall and fail, but they don't have a base to land on. And when you don't have a base to land on, you don't know how to pick yourself up. You don't know which way to turn, because you don't have something to wake up to. You don't have something to actually drive you to give it another shot. Because when, like for argument's sake, when I was out here in the US the first time, I was working on classic race cars, classic Porsches. One of the Porsches I worked on is in the Porsche Museum in Stuttgart now. It's an incredibly historically important car. Okay? When I went back to New Zealand, I went back to doing auto body repair work. I went back to panel beating. I was, working my way up the ladder here, but that work wasn't happening in New Zealand in the early 90s. So I went back to doing auto body repair work, because it gave me the ability to still get up in the morning, go to a job, make some form of money, build my V8 Holden Commodore, and gave me something to move forward with, gave me something to be able to build my life around. And that's the reason why so many young men today are failing at so many different things and just giving up all hope, because they don't have some sort of fundamental training, some sort of fundamental base to try to rebuild their life from, where they can go back and go, okay, I'm qualified as a plumber, or I can work as a bank teller at a bank, or I've got, some electrical knowledge where I can work as an electrical contractor, or something to go back to, where they can work away for a couple of years, and then go, okay, I've now studied business and finance. I'm going to go off into the finance world on Wall Street. I had a friend of mine do that. He literally was managing restaurants. And over a period of time, it was like, you know what, this sucks. I don't want to take over my family's businesses managing restaurants. There's got to be more to it than this. And I started helping him. I was like, what do you love doing? He goes, I really love like finance, this whole Wall Street brokerage dealing stuff. I'm like, start learning about it. So he started learning about it. 18 months later, boom, New York, Morgan Stanley. He's one of the head frickin' traders over there now. And he loves it. But you've got to have that base that you can start off from. You've got to have something that you can go back to that earns you money. Because when you're earning money, it gives you some sense of purpose. It gives you something to get up in the morning, go to do, gives you some form of drive. So that's what I've got to say. You can't go out into the world with expectations, because expectations will always, without fail, always let you down. I mean, think about the relationships with females that you've been involved with. You get to meet this woman, and she's so beautiful, so smells amazing, she blows you amazingly well, she does all these incredible things for you in bed. So you end up having all these massive expectations about what a relationship will be like with this particular individual. And then all of a sudden, 6 months into it, you're like, oh my God, what did I get involved with here? And it's because you had these expectations. It's one of the single biggest things that lead to our failures in life, are expectations. Every single time. So just take that with you. We don't rise to the level of our expectations. We always fall to the level of our training. That's my little bit for 2018 for you guys. So other than that, again, I thank you all for your subscribership. I thank you all for supporting the channel just by watching it. I really do appreciate it. So if you like the content of this last video, give it a thumbs up, pound the subscribe button, and expect more material next year. Cheers, guys. I'll talk to you later.